Hey guys, I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, the Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club. Mark from the NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live. It's time for the #1 Miami fan morning show. I'm talking about Clock Blockers right here on Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all this morning. Want to say good morning to my family with a PH, and good morning to my Finlaws. Y'all are the best fans out there. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all this morning. And guess what? It's Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday. You know what I should have worn? I should have worn my throwback. See, I didn't even think of that till just now. Maybe while y'all are talking, I'll go do a wardrobe change or something like that and hit my throwback on. But I wore my Duper jersey and hat earlier this week. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. Hey, look, super excited to be hanging out with y'all today. Nothing better than ever right now hearing another Solo D rap song. Another thing, you guys talk so much about Deshaun Watson. The poor guy's ears are bleeding instead of ringing. We're going to talk a little bit about that, too. We're just going to talk about how the fan base is feeling about that talk and that guy. I am setting something up for later on this week or early next week called State of Dolphin Nation. And I'm going to try to have some people from across the board, some fan club presidents, some super fans, as well as some people from other YouTube platforms. And the goal is going to be to talk about the state of Dolphin Nation and how Dolphin Nation is kind of at odds. There's friction. And, how do we get over that? How do we move past that? And how do we come together as a family? We're going to talk a little bit about that. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to happen one of these evenings. I don't know if it'll be this weekend or it'll be sometime next week, but I am super excited about that. Hey, look, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing this morning? If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let people know that we're here. Come on. Let's go. Already got 20 likes this morning. I appreciate that. I need 40. Double it. Let's go. Let's get to 40 likes. And then let's get to 60. Let's get to 100 likes today. Can we do that? Let's go. Hey, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your other Finlaws. Hey, guys, come check out this show in the morning called Clock Blockers. Okay? Hit that like button, subscribe, and share. If you guys want to donate to the channel and help the channel grow, there's a couple different ways you guys can do that. You guys can use the YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the money sign down at the bottom of the chat. You guys can also do PayPal, which is MSM Podcast Network, as well as Cash App, which is $MSM Podcast Network. Also, want to go to tailgreeter.com, find a tailgate near you, but you can also sign up to become a member today. Sign up, join. Got a lot of wonderful, absolutely wonderful people here. I got Big Drip ENT. I got Flipside Fishing. Who else I got? I got Sway2387 in the building. Chef Shoe, as always, just doing his thing. Who else I got in here this morning? Stetson O. What's up, Stet? How y'all doing this morning? Super excited about everybody who is part of the family already as a YouTube member. So, yeah, super excited about it. Let's go. Let's go. Mr. Ballgame, what is up? I am definitely over the Watson talk. Everyone is majorly overreacting. This team is hella young, and it shows. Not many have the necessary patience to endure this rebuild. Shaking my head. We'll get to that in a little bit. Want to give a big shout out to Vic Coaster. What's up, Vic? Bernard Simset. What's good, Fins fam? The Godfather. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, and you ask, look, what's up, Godfather? Godfather Mark Norcal, Dolphin Angelo in the building. What is going on? Super excited about that. And hey, guys, if you guys haven't done so already, if you're heading out to Hard Rock this weekend and you want to hang out with some real Dolphin fans and you want to go to an awesome tailgate with food and drink and just have a really good time. Go to tailgreeter.com, check them out. And when you get into tailgreeter.com, you're going to go into the search engine. And in the search bar, you're going to type in, not coughing, East 32 Dolphins Tailgate. East 32 Dolphins Tailgate. Make sure you check them out. And what you're going to do here is you're going to check them out by typing in East 32 Dolphins Tailgate. That's Cameron. And they're going to have an amazing setup, an amazing tailgate there. You buy your ticket. What comes in your ticket? All you can drink, all you can eat. It's got a lot of amazing stuff. Solo D will be stopping by. And a lot of amazing fans. I will not be there this weekend, unfortunately, but that's okay. I'm hoping to be there. If not for the Atlanta game, it's already a done deal. I am in there for the fan club weekend as well as the Baltimore Ravens Thursday night game. So I will be there in Miami the entire week. So be on the lookout for some amazing content that week. I've already got live shows lined up. I got live pregame shows. I got former NFL Miami Dolphin players coming. It's going to be huge. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be doing live streams from bow campers that night before for the meet and greet. You guys are going to be in for one heck of a treat. If you guys are not able to make that trip, don't worry. Miami Sports Music Podcast Network's got you covered with all the inside track for that week. It's going to be awesome. Good stuff, okay? All right, let's see who else is up in here this morning. Let's see here. Got Chase One, got Shake Money. John Featherland said, fins up and hit that like button. Don Shula weekend in Miami this weekend. Also alumni weekend, I think. Yes, because I talked to Richmond Webb yesterday. Or he actually hit me up in a text. Let me just say I didn't talk to him. He hit me up in a text saying that he was going to be there this weekend. So I am super excited. Stephen Fan Club weekend is Houston game, right? Yes, Sean Dixon, it is. And I will be there. I fly in that Thursday before. I think there's events Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. Bob Young, what's going? I'm going to be there earlier this Sunday. I refuse to miss the tailgates again. But I'm not even going to be there, Chef. And I missed you last time. Shake Money says, I'll be at the Colts game. Can't wait. Well, let's get in and let's talk about that Colts game, shall we? So, obviously, this is one of my favorite shows of the week. It's called Throwback Thursday. And why do we call it Throwback Thursday? Because we go back in time, all time, versus the Colts. And for those of you who don't know, which most of you should, the Colts used to be in the AFC East. They used to be a division rival of ours. And there's a lot of history all the way to them dating back to the Baltimore Colts days because of one amazing gentleman by the name of Don Shula. Maybe you guys have heard of him. I'm just messing with y'all. Yeah, so there's a lot of standing between these two teams, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, even to this day, Baltimore and Miami have a lot of things in common. Lamar Smith, who's the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, and I know the Ravens and the Colts are different. I understand that, but Lamar Smith's from Miami, right? Baltimore Colts had Don Shula. Don Shula came to Miami, set a precedent as the greatest head coach of all time. And it's absolutely amazing. We're going to talk about all that today. The differences between the Colts, the Dolphins, Baltimore, Miami, Indianapolis, Miami. We're going to get into all of that today. All right. So the all-time series, let me share my screen so you guys can see this. All right. All-time Miami Dolphins lead the series 48-27. No ties. Miami has scored 1,679 points to Indianapolis Colts 1,287 points. The very first game between these two teams were on 11/01/1970. The Miami Dolphins faced the Baltimore Colts at the time, and the Baltimore Colts won 35-0. That was on November 1st of 1970. That was very, very, very good. You know, not a good game, but they were already a division rivals because later on that year, the Miami Dolphins won 34-17, and they split the very first year. And as you can see, they faced each other twice all the way up till probably the early 2000s, right? Yeah, so 2001, I believe, was the last time The Dolphins and the Colts were in the same division together. And the very last time the Dolphins and the Colts were in the same division, the Dolphins won 41-6 in December of 2001. Could you imagine? I want you guys to think about for a second. Could you have imagined? Let me bring myself up on the big screen. If we had to have faced Peyton Manning and Tom Brady every year for the last 25 years, that would have been hard. It was already hard anyway. Now just think about that for a second. That's how crazy. Indy was a great team for many, many years. And a lot of people think that the Dolphins should still be in the AFC South. Shake Money says that. I think Miami should be in the AFC South, not the Colts. Look, there's people that agree with that or disagree with that. We can get into that conversation later on today or another time. I want to try to keep to the topic today of the Colts. Is there any game that sticks out for you guys in the chat box right now? Use the hashtag Dolphin Chat. You guys can see right there. All right. Use the hashtag Dolphin Chat. Put it in the chat box. Is there a game that sticks out for you guys? The Manning Marino Bowl, the game that they played against each other in. Does that stick out for you? Is there anybody from the Colts back in the day that sticks out for you that was always tough for the Dolphins? If you look in here, you'll see, and let me go back to the big screen here. You'll see the Dolphins have a lot of wins. From 1978 to 1987, the Dolphins lost one time, and that was in 1980. So look, there's a lot of history between these two franchises. Lamar's Manning and Marino games epic. I've always said the Patriots run had a lot to do with the Dolphins' dysfunction. Hey, you're not wrong there. There's definitely some truth in that. Let's see here. We had the ball for 45 minutes and lost the game. It was so sad, Andrevius. 2009. Let's go to 2009 for Andrevius. I don't want you to relive it. But the Dolphins lost 27-23. We'll go to that box score. All right. Peyton Manning and Chad Pennington. Peyton Manning was 14 of 23 for 303 yards and 2 touchdowns. Chad Pennington was 22 of 33 for 183 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. Ronnie Brown, that must have been a Wildcat game, obviously. Ronnie Brown, 24 attempts for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ricky had 19 attempts for 69 yards. That was the Ricky and Ronnie days, Andrevius. I don't quite remember this game specifically, but I remember. Guys, Lusaka Polite. Lusaka Polite was the best third down, fourth down short conversion guy in the NFL for like 3 years. If it was 3rd and 2 or less, you gave it to Lusaka Polite. It was automatic first down. Automatic first down. Love that guy. Would love to have him on the show one day. X says, earliest Dolphins statement game, 1971 AFC Championship game. Fins, Colts, 21-0. Let's go to that. Let's go take a look at that game. 1971. Here we go. It actually was in 1972, obviously. There's no box score for that. There's no box score, X-Man, for that. But yeah, 21-0, 1972. It was AFC Championship game. You are correct. And we obviously know who won that game without even knowing. The Dolphins. Let's see. 1994 AFC Divisional at San Diego. Previous week, Marino, Montana dual and wild card game. Yeah, we're keeping it. We're keeping it strictly Colts. 1980s Billy Joel, sir. 1980s Billy Joel. Yes, we're keeping it strictly Colts Dolphins right now. Let's see here. My first and only Dolphins game I ever went to was in 1988 or 1989 at home versus the Colts. Let's see here. 1988. All right. At Miami Dolphins. Did they win or lose? Flip side. That is the real question. Because one game they lost and one game they won. I love that the fullback position, Lusaka Polite, was money. He was the man. Rob Conrad for life. Let's see here. Who else? Any other games that you guys come to mind? Ricky Williams' first game with the Dolphins was against the Colts. William went off in that game. Alberto, do you remember that game or what year it was or anything? Russell Vora says Dwight Freeney and Bob Sanders were tough to. Dwight Freeney, boy, that man was a monster. He was a monster. Flip side said they won. The Dolphins won. So that would have been. Let's see here. 1989 box score. Joe Robbie Stadium here for Flipside, November 5th, 1989. Jack Trudeau and Tom Ramsey were the quarterbacks for the Indianapolis Colts. And this guy named Dan Marino, maybe you heard of him. Dan Marino was 14 of 26 for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wow, this is like the first game that I remember, like doing Throwback Thursday, where we went back and looked at a Marino game where he didn't throw the ball for 30-plus times. That's kind of crazy. Or had over 250 yards. Let's see here. Rushing for the Dolphins. Sammy Smith, Ron Davenport, Jim Jensen. Sammy Smith had 25 attempts for 123 yards. Receiving that day for the Miami Dolphins. Fred Banks, Jim Johnson, Pharrell Edmonds, Andre Brown, Mark Clayton, Ron Davenport. Mark Duper was still with the team. He had 1 reception for 9 yards. And Scott Schweds. I don't know if I said that name right. But yeah. Yep. Let's see here. Miami Dolphins. The punter was Reggie Roby, and our kicker was Pete Stojakovic. I always struggle to say his last name, Stojakovic. But Pete Stojakovic, it's funny because Miami has actually had a really good run for many years with kickers. They've had really good luck with kickers. We had Pete Stojakovic. We had Gary Yepremian, Pete Stojakovic, Alindo Mare, Jason Sanders. We've done pretty decent on the kicking game over the years. Let's see here. Rich V says, my first Fins Jets. We're not talking Jets. Let's see here. 12/30/2000 beat them in the playoffs. Game was blacked out, but only on the radio. Let's go to 12/30/2001 for my man Chase. Or 2000, excuse me, 2000. All right, 12/30/2000. Here we go. It was an overtime win. It was an overtime win here, Chase. All right, Peyton Manning versus Jay Fielder. Peyton Manning was 17 of 32 for a $194 and 1 touchdown. Jay Fielder had a rough day this game. Jay Fielder went 19 for 34, 185 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. All right. Edgerrin James, Peyton Manning, Hunter Smith led in rushing. Edgerrin James had 21 attempts for 107 yards, no touchdowns. We had Lamar Smith, Jay Fielder, and Tony Martin make rushes. Lamar Smith had 40 attempts for 40 attempts for 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. Shout out to Lamar Smith. My guy. That's crazy. Receiving for this game for the Indianapolis Colts, this guy named Marvin Harrison. Maybe you've heard of him. Marvin Harrison had 5 receptions, 63 yards. For the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins that day for this game, Aronde Gaskin, 4 receptions for 38 yards. O.J. McDuffie, 4 receptions for 57. The only person to receive a touchdown was Jed Weaver. That name does not ring a bell for me at all. But he had a touchdown that game. He had 1 catch for 9 yards, and it was for a touchdown. Let's see here. Punting, Matt Turk. Shout out to Matt Turk. Punting. And Alindo Mare. Alindo Mare had 2 field goals. One from between 30 and 39 yards. And that was it. He had 1 field goal that day. And he had 2 point after attempts. That's crazy. What other games we got here, guys? Any other games you guys want me to look at? Hilberto said September 15th, 2002. Williams piled up $132 and we won 21-13. All right, let's go to Hilberto's game of September 15th, 2002. Guys, we are doing all-time versus the Colts. Is there a game you want me to go back in time and look at? Good or bad? You know, we're looking at everything. This is all time. September 15th, 2002. Here we go. All right. The game was at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis in front of a sold-out crowd that day. Jay Fielder was 13 of 18 for 187 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Peyton Manning was 26 for 45 for 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. That's a rare Peyton Manning game, 3 interceptions. Ricky Williams had 24 attempts for $132, no touchdowns. Jay Fielder ran the ball for 7 times for 30 yards with 1 touchdown rushing. Edgerrin James, 30 attempts for 138 yards, no touchdowns. The Miami Dolphins receiving core that day. Chris Chambers, 4 receptions for 57 yards. Oronde Gaskin, 2 receptions for 14. Randy McMichael, 2 receptions for 34. Ricky Williams, 2 receptions for 62 yards, one of them being a touchdown that day. Robert Edwards, Rob Conrad, and Dedrick Ward. Shout out to Rob Conrad. He was the man. He also saved somebody from drowning not too long ago, a few years back. I don't know the complete story. I'd have to look that up, but it was a crazy story. Let's see here. Kickoff returns that day for the Dolphins. Jamar Fletcher, Albert Johnson. Punting, Mark Royals for the Dolphins. And our kicker that day was Alendo Mare. Zach Thomas had a big game. I should get into some of the defenses of some of these games, right? Derek Rogers had 1 interception. Jamar Fletcher had 1 interception. And Patrick Surtain had 1 interception that day. Shout out to Patrick Surtain in the building. Like it. Let's see here. What other games we got? I remember Ruby. Lamar Smith was a beach. Was a beast. A beach. It's Fielder, not Fielder. Pronounced like Fiedler. Fiedler. Thank you, Andrevius. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you correcting me on that. Let's see here. What else we got? D-Dub, what up, Steve? What up, D-Dub? D-Dub in the house. Weaver was a tight end or a fullback, but I think he was a tight end. Nelson Alfonso, 1999 Colts win on last-minute field goal. Let's go to 1999. And, yep, this looks like it is right here. December 5th, 1999, Pro Player Stadium, Miami Gardens. And, yep, Mike Vanderjagt hit a last-minute field goal from 53 yards out to win the game. Oh, that's a tough game. Peyton Manning, 23 of 29 for 260 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. It didn't look like, just by the way, the games we've seen with Peyton as quarterback, he didn't have good games against the Dolphins. Peyton struggled against playing the Dolphins. Dan Marino was our quarterback that day, 24 of 38 for 313 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Edgerrin James, 23 attempts for 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, see, this is one, couldn't stop the run. Running backs that day for us were J.J. Johnson, 21 attempts for 62 yards, and Stanley Pritchett had 1 attempt. Receiving for that day, Marvin Harrison, 8 receptions for $125. For the Dolphins, wide receiving core that day, Oronde Gaskin, Gatskin. 6 receptions for 103 yards, 1 touchdown. Tony Martin, 6 receptions for 109 yards, 1 touchdown. Stanley Pritchett, 3 receptions for 2 yards. 3 receptions for 2 yards? Interesting. But he also had a touchdown that day. Punter that day was Nate Jaquette. Or excuse me. Punting was Tom Hutton. Kicking was Alindo Mare. Mare had 2 field goals, both between 30 and 39 yards. Vanderjack obviously had the game-winning field goal. He had 3 field goals that day, two from 40 plus, 1 from 50 plus. Let's see. Defense. Sam Madison and Patrick Surtain both had interceptions that day. That's a tough game, but it's a good game. It looked like it was a really good game. Honestly, I don't remember that game too much, Nelson. Let's see here. Sounds like Waddle. 2003 is their game. Pamela says September 6th, 1998. Let's go to September 6th, 1998, shall we? Let's go back in time. September 6th, 1998. The Dolphins won 24-15. It was at the RCA Dome. Sold out crowd, 60,000 plus. Dan Marino versus Peyton Manning. Dan Marino was 13 of 24 for 135 yards, 1 touchdown. Peyton Manning was 21 of 37, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. I'm telling you guys right now, Manning did not play well against the Dolphins. Every Manning game we go to, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Rushing for the Miami Dolphins. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for 23 attempts for 108 yards and 1 touchdown. Not to be confused with the basketball player Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. John Avery. I remember John Avery very well. I have his rookie card still. True story. I don't know why that sticks out for me, but I have a John Avery rookie card. 5 attempts for 28 yards. Indianapolis Colts. Guys, Indianapolis Colts rusher that day, Marshall Faulk. A lot of people don't remember. He was drafted by them. 24 attempts for 56 yards. Let's see here. Receiving for the Miami Dolphins that day. O.J. McDuffie, 2 receptions for 14. Ed Perry, Stanley Pritchett, Lamar Thomas. Nobody had more than 2 receptions that day, and nobody had over 29 yards, which was Lamar Thomas. And the only person who scored touchdown was one. Actually, that's a lie. Arande Gatson had 1 reception for 44 yards, which was a touchdown. So, yeah, that's crazy. Let's see here. Marvin Harrison, Marshall Faulk, Jerome Patton, Marcus Pollard were receiving that day for the Indianapolis Colts. Let's see here. Klaus. All right, so this is the punter for the Miami Dolphins that day. Klaus Wilmsmeyer. I don't remember him. Lindo Mare had 1 field goal that day. Missed 1 from 50 plus and made another one from 20 plus. Mike Vanderjack had 3 field goals that day, 2 from 20, 1 from 50. And the Dolphins defense, Terrell Buckley. Shout out to Terrell Buckley, however you want to say his name. 2 interceptions that day for 33 yards and 1 touchdown. So Manning threw a pick 6 that day, straight up. Love it. And Daryl Gardner also had an interception that day. Let's see here. What else we got? November 2nd, 2003. Russell Vora says November 2nd, 2003. Go to that game. 23-17, we lost. This is a loss for the Dolphins. 2003. November 2nd, 2003. Pro Player Stadium in Miami Gardens. 73,000 in attendance. Peyton Manning versus Brian Greasy was the quarterback matchup that day. Peyton Manning had 23 of 37 for 266 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Brian Griese was 18 of 29 for 231 yards and one touchdown, no interceptions. Brian Griese was sacked 5 times that day, and Peyton Manning was sacked 4 times that day. Edgerrin James had 26 attempts for 89 yards and a touchdown. The Miami Dolphins rushing that day was almost non-existent. Only 14 rushes the entire day. 13 of them by Ricky Williams for 36 yards and a touchdown. The other one was by Travis Minor for 11. Receiving for the Miami Dolphins that day, Randy McMichael, 6 reception, 88 yards. Ricky Williams, 4 reception for 23. Chris Chambers, 3 receptions for 56 yards and a touchdown. Punters that day, Matt Turk, kicker Olindo Mare. Defense for the Miami Dolphins that day. Let's see here. Adwale Agunlie. Prince Adwale Agunlie. Prince. Let's see here. He made 2 sacks for the Dolphins that day. Who else got a sack that day? Jason Taylor got a sack that day. And so did Jay Williams. Interception-wise, there were one interception. Terrell Buckley. Yep, Terrell Buckley. Let's see here. All right, what else we got, guys? A.K.A. Sherman Shaw, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. A little trivia for you. Go back and look at September 6, 1998. Did we already look at that one, Pamela? Let's see here. I'll go back and look at September 6, 1998. And then I'm going to bring you guys in for the discussion. So be on the lookout here in a second. I'm going to start bringing you guys in, and we can start talking about the all-time matchup. Let's see here. September 6, 1998. September 6, 1998. Dolphins won 24-15. RCA Dome, 60,000 in attendance. I think I already said this one. Yeah, I already did this one, Pamela. Zach stats. You want to look at Zach stats. There's no stats here for Zach at all. There is 4 sacks that day. Trace Armstrong, Calvin Johnson, Derek Rogers, Jason Taylor. Terrell Buckley had 2 interceptions. One of them was a pick 6. And then Daryl Garner had the other interception. December 21st, 1977, a bad judgment call by the Fred Silva gave the Colts a victory over the Patriots, thus giving the Colts the division and eliminating the Dolphins. D-Dub taking it back in time. All right, look, guys, there have been a lot of history between these two teams. One of the biggest things that binds our teams together is Don Shula. So I actually live up here in Baltimore, and the reality is Don Shula was loved up here, and a lot of the old timers that I know of this area that are in the sports industry remember Don Shula here. And they remember Don Shula being a hard ass. Tom Matty, who's a former player for the Baltimore Colts, I had the opportunity to do a few radio shows with him back in the day, and he knew I was a big Dolphins fan, and he would tell me stories about shoes, as they would call them. And just how like he was just a hard ass at a very young age. And there was no getting stuff by him. He was so smart from the very beginning. And I know that they're going to have a big thing for Don Shula this weekend down at the game. He's one guy I never got to meet. I did go eat at his steakhouse once, where the hotel is. And that was my very first game. So, you know, it's one thing that I wish I had met. I wish I had the opportunity to meet him. I actually have a really cool autograph piece. The day he died, I went online and bought a autographed picture of his. that's authenticated and everything. I just wanted to have something special that I could, whenever I get my new man cave in my new house, whenever that may be, I want that to be one of the centerpieces because I love the man. It's because of Don Shula that a lot of us are fans, not because of Don Shula, but because of what he created. And some of us are Don Shula. Bill Belichick wishes he could be half the man that Don Shula was. And I really mean that. And I'm not hating, I'm just being honest. Shula didn't have to do the things that Belichick did to win games. Shula created players, was just this amazing name. And yeah, just an awesome guy. And I unfortunately never got a chance to meet him, but if you guys have good Don Shula stories, let me know. I want to hear about them, especially if they have to do with the Colts. But yeah, let's talk about Don Shula. Let's talk about the Colts and Dolphins all-time series, and let's kind of go back in time. I want to hear your thoughts about games from the past, or just being able to play against that kind of stuff. Peyton Manning all those years, Edgerrin James, Marvin Harrison. We had some really good games against them. Pamela says Shula did things the right way. Hashtag what would Shula do? Shout out to Wado. Let's see. All right, guys, we're going to bring in some guys, people as they get on. And let's go ahead and do that. Let's bring in Russell first. What's up, Russell?
Morning, Steven. How are you?
Pretty good, man. I took you back in time this morning, huh?
Yeah, definitely. The game that stands out for me, obviously, is the Marino Peyton showdown.
Mhm.
That one will always stand in my mind because that game was so close, and it was almost like a passing of the torches. It truly, truly was. Even though it was different teams, I felt like Peyton became the new Dan Marino once Dan left.
I don't disagree with that statement. That's a good statement.
It really felt like a passing of a torch, and because I love Peyton, even though he was never a Miami Dolphin. I dreamed of him being a Miami Dolphin. He was almost a Miami Dolphin. If it was up to Jimmy Johnson, he probably would have been a Miami Dolphin. And man, would that have changed the landscape of this
of
team.
Our franchise? No doubt.
Going from Dan Marino to Peyton Manning, how much better could it get than that if it actually had came to fruition?
We wouldn't have had 24 different starting quarterbacks since Marino.
Exactly. But I do want to point one other thing out. Those bad games by Peyton Manning, you were talking about them 3 interception games and all that. Tua has only had one game like that. So everybody wants to talk about Tua hasn't done this, or Tua hasn't done that, or Tua doesn't look like this, and Tua doesn't look like that. Well, I'll tell you what, Trevor Lawrence doesn't look very good either this year. It's called giving these players time. And you got to put the right players around them to succeed, which this team has failed to do. So people need to get off this Watson train, and everybody just needs to let this season play out for what it is.
I'm trying not to talk about Tua or Watson today. I'm trying to keep it Colts related, bro. I don't want people to. I'm Colts related today. Colts, Dolphins related.
Okay, I think we beat the Colts. I'll put it that way. I actually think we beat the Colts. Would I rather see Sinnett? Yes, but I think either way, no matter who's at quarterback, we just have the Colts number. We usually play very well against that team.
Yeah.
They're in more disarray than we are right now. So
they're sitting at 0-3 right now. Let me bring in D-Dub and Pamela. What's up, D-Dub? What's up, Pamela?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, D-Dub, let me go to you first because you were bringing up some old school games from back in the day. Number one, did I take you back in time today?
I'm back in the time capsule. I got the bell bottoms on. I got my Afro pick. Okay. I'm back in the day. I'm back in the day. So, first of all, a game that I somewhat remember, but I was young. But when you think about it, you look at the stats. The Dolphins won this game, AFC Championship game. They won 21-0 against the the Colts, the Baltimore Colts. And I'll tie that into Don Shula as well. But in that game, Bob Greasy had a 95.8 rating. Do you know how many passes he threw in that game?
Less than 15.
8 passes.
Yeah, less than 15.
8 passes. Okay. So when you
totally different era.
Totally different era now. But it's just amazing that, and he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. People in Miami, don't forget, you got 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Okay.
Bob Greasy
and Dan Marino. Put some respect on that name, Greasy.
So let me tell you my only run-in with Bob Greasy. Now some people might not like this, but I'm just telling you my experience with the man. All right, you know how they say you should never meet your heroes? I was so nervous the first time I ever met Marino. I've told that story before. The very first time I met Bob Greasy was in Charlotte. It was Tannehill's first preseason game. Somebody's got a bird in the background.
It's not I.
It's probably my chickens.
Your chicken.
She got some yard birds.
She got some wild birds in there.
I do.
All right. So I'm at the team hotel. It's at night, and I had just walked in. And I actually had the helmet. So the whole weekend, I'm like carrying around this helmet to get autographs, which I still have to this day. And I have the helmet, and I'm walking in to go upstairs, and all of a sudden I see coming out of the elevator Bob Greasy. And there's like 4 people in the lobby. It's like 10:30 at night. And, of course, people want to get autographs, and he's in a full suit. But, he's had a couple. Right. I'm not going to say what he's had a couple of, but he's had a couple. All right. So he's like,
off the clock.
He's off the clock. And he's like, all right, guys, just line up and I'll just sign everybody. And he got in the line and he literally he's like, all right, I'm not moving. And made us all go down the line. And he just literally signed and then threw the pen down on the ground and walked away. True story. That really happened.
You got to think that for all the accolades they get, how much time they actually have to put towards that, and how much inconvenience they've had to endure for fans, and how much time they've had to miss out from family because of fans. So, sometimes it's not the most cherished task, but at least he had the class enough to do.
You know what? He signed it.
Yep.
He signed it.
Yep.
And by the way, you know what? Now that I think about it, it wasn't the helmet he signed. He signed. It was like 1973 Dolphins Topps card he signed. So I have an autograph 1973, I think, as the year Topps card of his, and that's what he signed. Right. But it was weird. It was like a conveyor belt. So one person went down the line, he signed.
Assembly lines, autographs.
It was crazy.
But
that's my run-in with them.
My dad met Bob Greasy too, when back in the 70s, because my dad was born in Orlando. That's actually how I became a Dolphins fan, is because of my dad. And he met him at my grandfather was like a district manager of a restaurant chain down in Florida. And Bob Greasy loved going to these particular restaurants. And that's where my dad got the meeting. And I believe it was either in 71 or 72. And my dad would have been about 10 years old when he met Greasy.
Boy, Russell, you making me feel old.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, hey,
I'm your dad's age. Just saying.
Yeah. I was. I'll be 34 in February, so yeah, definitely on the younger side still. But yeah, my dad will be 59 in November, so I grew up on Dan. He grew up on Don Shula.
Greasy. Yeah. And Stephen, you made a comparison between Don Shula and Bill Belichick. class wise, and Bill wishes he could be Don Shula. They are similar in that they both demand a lot, but Shula took advantage of those old rules where you could have 2 and 3 a days, and just imagine doing 3 a days in the Miami Heat, in
Papa. So
in July and August.
When I did the show, when I did the show for the fans on the recently defunct network that was over, the Big O and Alex Dunno were on. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart. I can't think of the name. But anyways, I got to interview Papa Pump, the super fan, and Papa Pump was telling me he's like, yeah, back in the day, I used to sneak in and go to, I get where was practice back in the day, like training camp before Nova, like the old college. I can't think of the name of it.
That I couldn't tell you.
Wherever it was, though, he's like, I would sneak out. I would get butt whoopings just to go to see the team when he was a little kid. But he's like, Don Shula was great. He would let the kids be ball boys during all those years, and he would let, it was because it wasn't as big. It wasn't a big thing that it is now. So kids would sneak in, and he'd let kids be on the field with the team and stuff like that and watch it. And there's just something about Don Shula that just, I don't know. He was
there's always going to be radio. There's always going to be history between the Dolphins and the Colts, just because of the way the Dolphins were able to get Don Shula from the Colts. It cost them eventually a first-round draft pick to get Shula, even though they couldn't really prove any what's the word I'm looking for? Negligence with contacting Shula. But because
Shula wanted out of Baltimore. He did not want to stay in Baltimore.
Well, the Ursays, they didn't like the fact that Shula lost that Super Bowl to the Jets. So they had some angst and anger about that. But the father was away in Europe while the son negotiated the deal for the Dolphins to get Shula. And when the father came back, he was so irked that he went to the league, whined and complained, and to resolve it, they awarded the Dolphins awarded the Colts a first-round draft pick. But when you think about it, you got a coach for the next 25, 27 years, Hall of Fame coach. You gladly give up a first-round pick for that.
Yeah. Shula ran 4 days in the early 70s when teams could do that.
Yep.
You sure did. St. Thomas U was the college, though, that it went to. All right, Pamela, is there any games that stick out for you with the Colts and Dolphins back in the day, or any memories you have?
A player, for example, that you brought up a few times, and we're annihilating his name, and I really liked him, was Oronde Gadsden. It's got a D in him. Gadsden. You talk about a guy that could, as a ballet teacher who loves football, and you watch that man lay out for a ball, that was just, he was just beautiful catching a ball. So some of those stats that he had, I really liked him.
Oronde was my favorite player for a while besides O.J. McDuffie. And the funny part is there's a play that sticks out, and I believe it was Oronde, and I think it was against Oakland.
Yes, I remember that play.
Where he was looking one way, his arm is this way, and the ball, without looking, goes right into his arm, and he keeps running the route.
Yeah, and he had some of the biggest hands.
Yes,
that enabled him to make a lot of one-handed catches.
Oh yeah,
him. Chris Chambers is another wide receiver that is not underappreciated in Dolphin lore. Okay, when you
talking about Gadsden, I just really think that in the conversation of great
Gadsden.
Dolphin wide receivers. He needs to always be in there. And I also agree about Chris Chambers too.
Yep. Chris Chambers, that was a bad boy. That was
That
a
was a
bad.
bad. Shut your
he was
mouth.
That's a
Yeah,
bad
he
boy.
Bad mamma jamma.
You know.
Everybody, I got to get going. I got to get to work. Fins up. Y'all have a
Fins
good
up.
one.
Oh,
Like
you
I
fins
said,
up.
I predict the Dolphins to win this weekend. If I had to give a score prediction, I'm
Hey, we're doing score
20.
predictions tomorrow, Russell. Are you coming on tomorrow? Don't give your score prediction until tomorrow, because that's what we're doing tomorrow.
You're a day early.
I'm off tomorrow, so I'll be here.
Sounds good, Russell. We'll hang out with you tomorrow, big guy.
All right, sounds good. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.
You too.
You're welcome.
I just want
Have a
you
good
to
day,
know,
Russell.
Russell and Steven, that y'all are both younger than my youngest son.
Well, that just means we're awesome people, man. Come on. All right, Rashad, what's up, man?
Good
Hey,
morning.
Rashad.
Good morning, Rashad.
Yo, D.
Rashad, is there any Dolphins Colts games that stick out to you over the past years, or anything that sticks out to you about the history of playing against the Colts?
I can't remember a single Dolphins Colts game. I remember.
Well, you know what? I will give it this way. Since I've moved to Ohio, I have gone to two. Yeah, I saw that comment. I cracked up.
Pamela has chickens older than Stephen, Mark Norcross.
I do.
Godfather
I
says.
do.
That's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you want to know something real? You want to know how uneducated I am? I didn't know chickens lived that long. True story. I'm thinking he was just joking. How long do chickens live for?
They don't live that long. That was definitely just a joke. But the
Okay,
ducks,
see, y'all
the
messing
ducks,
with
on
me.
the other hand, our ducks live pretty long.
Whack, whack,
You know,
whack.
I've gone to 3 Colts Dolphins games in Indianapolis.
Yeah, how was the old RCA Dome back in the day?
You know what? That's a nice place, but where they play now with the dome,
Lucas Oil.
Oil,
Yes.
that's where I've seen the last 2. And when you go to a game in late November and you have your coat on in anticipation of the weather, and then you go inside and you take off your coat, and it's like it's a wonderful experience. It's a wonderful experience. I don't know why more northern teams don't put a dome in, but that being aside, the fans there, they like to get on you, but at least they're not.
It's funny that you say that about outside teams. And again, I don't want to get off the Colts because that's where the conversation is today. But real quick, just as a side note, because you mentioned about stadiums in the North putting domes in. I always felt that teams didn't do that because it gave them an advantage, that just like us in South Florida with the sun, right?
Yeah.
So you go to Lambeau, it's cold in those December games. It's crazy cold in those December games.
Yeah.
It's Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra, like all that, right? So
I get it.
When Minnesota 2 or 3 years ago made theirs a dome, I was actually surprised, because I felt like, okay, they were in the Metrodome or whatever for all those years. And I felt like if you go to Chicago, if you went to Green Bay, who's the third team? Detroit. I mean, you want to have that advantage, but Detroit and Minnesota both have domes, but Chicago
and Green Bay don't.
Doesn't. Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole here. Minnesota, when they first came in the league in the 60s, they were an outdoors team. They didn't get that. They played at Metropolitan Stadium, and that whole division played outside. The NFC North. They all played outside. And then when Tampa Bay and Seattle came into the league in the 70s, Tampa Bay was put in the NFC North, of all crazy things. So imagine a team from Tampa, Florida, having to play 4 games outside in elements. So, but to bring it all back, it's nice to go from a cold environment
go
to
sit home in Indianapolis.
73 degrees and be able to sit with a t-shirt and watch a game. Now, I was able to watch the Dolphins beat Peyton Manning.
I was about to say, did you see Peyton Marino games?
No, by that time it wasn't Marino playing when I had moved here to this region. So it was Tannehill at that time.
But they had some pretty good games too.
Oh yeah, they had some close games. Those 2 games at the RCA at Lucas Oil, they went down to the wire late in the fourth quarter.
Were you there for the Fitzpatrick game a couple of years ago, or what was it, last year or whatever?
No, I didn't go to that game.
It wasn't last year; it was 2 years ago, right? Where he got hit in the head, and they took him out like 2 or 3 plays later.
Yeah, I know that. I saw that game, but I wasn't there that game.
So upset that game. To this day, I still get upset about thinking about that game.
Yeah,
because in football, I've never seen that. You either take the player out right then and there,
or you let them in.
Which, by the way, I wouldn't have had an issue with. Maybe 1 play, but it was like 5 plays later they took him out.
Yeah, that was one where they dropped the ball on the process. They dropped the ball on the process.
No doubt.
All
right, let me bring in Al. Al, what's up, brother?
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, brother. So have you been listening to our time machine going back in time, Colts, Dolphins, all time?
Yeah, I'm going to add a couple of things myself. I had the privilege of going to the last playoff game that we ever won.
Oh, wow.
And that was the game where...
What game was that, Al? I don't remember it, man.
1998.
Please give it to me. Let me know what it feels like.
2000?
Was the win against the Colts.
Yeah.
I knew what it was. I was just messing.
But we had a team that we were looking at possibly doing stuff, and it never really went any further than that. But
that's the Lamar.
That was an amazing win.
That was the Lamar Smith game. Lamar Smith game.
The last time we had a good running game.
Yeah. Yep.
Lamar Smith.
Maybe not the last time we had a good running game, but the last time we had a complete team.
I was going to say.
Yeah, because Ricky.
Hey, was Lamar Smith in the XFL?
He was in another league before playing for the.
Wasn't it Canadian
Dolphins.
Football?
I think it might.
XFL didn't exist back
then. We got a lot of guys from Canada because Ireland used to shop up there.
Was it Euro? I can remember.
There was a Euro League too.
Yeah, Euro. Yeah.
That was sponsored.
Oh,
by
NFL Europe. NFL Europe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I know it.
That's why you have all these followings across Europe for Dolphins, because Dolphins are very popular in Europe.
No, he never played anywhere else except the NFL. He played for the Seahawks from 94 to 97, the Saints from 98 to 99, the Dolphins from 2000 to 2001, the Panthers in 2002, and the Saints in 2003.
Our quarterback was from the Eagles that we got.
AJ Feely?
Yeah, Feely.
You.
He retired too early. But I think it was because he got hurt.
First of all, Al, nobody has ever said that in the history of me. Nobody ever told me that AJ Feely retired too early. I've never heard that before. That is a great statement. I've just never heard that.
Well, what I mean by him retiring, it was at a time when we still had a decent team. And we just couldn't get that package together that they were always looking for, which was the 3 items, which you had the running back, the receiver, and the line together with the quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, the tight end. That's what it was. Those 3 guys, like they were trying to emulate what Dallas used to do.
John Avery
Okay.
was the guy who played for the XFL. Sorry, man. They just put that in the chat. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's no problem. The other game that I remember was the first Peyton Manning game against Marino, where Peyton Manning came into that game. It was his rookie year, and this guy couldn't get anything done. He was throwing interceptions like crazy. I think there was at least 3 or 4 that game, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I've seen most of the Marino games.
You know, the Colts, you know, they've had some good teams that fought the Dolphins well. You look at the 70s with Burt Jones and Lydell Mitchell from Penn State. They had a good team in the mid 70s. They were like I said, they were a good. It was a good division back then. They had those 3 teams: the Colts, the Patriots, and the Dolphins, all vying for basically one spot because you only had one wild card back then. So you basically had to win that division to get to the playoffs because the Steelers always could run the table basically in their division, and Oakland at that time was battling with San Diego a lot. So it was always you wanted to guarantee yourself that playoff spot by winning the division. So that's why in the chat earlier I brought up that game 77 when the Dolphins was sitting there. All they had to do was have the Colts lose and they get the division.
And
The ref and the fact that I will never forget that referee's name, Fred Silver. He made that bad judgment call, and caused the
Don't get me started on bad judgment calls.
Huh?
Don't get me started on bad judgment calls where we lost games.
Yes.
You know, and it seemed they always went up against the Dolphins. They played against the Dolphins.
Even in our own stadium, too, it's happened.
Yeah. But
Flipside Fishing says the Colts team with Steve Entman was a tough team for us to beat. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Steve Entman didn't last very long. He was like a 1-year guy and he got hurt.
The Colts during the Steve Entman time, that was the time that they had, I believe,
do you remember the quarterback?
I think it was Dickerson. Eric Dickerson used to play. Came from the Rams.
Dickerson played for the Colts. That's correct.
Dickerson was a beast, and during those times, I think that was the time that Steve Entman was there as well. That you had the Dolphins had to face Dickerson, and he put up numbers against the Dolphins like crazy. And then they went from Dickerson when he left. They traded him. He left, and they were able to get Marshall Faulk. And Marshall Faulk,
was considered but it was funny because he was considered by some to potentially be a bust with Indy. He wasn't that great in Indy. He had some good games, but he wasn't that great.
You remember when Marshall
and they traded him to St. Louis, and then he had the Hall of Fame career in St. Louis.
You remember when Marshall Faulk was coming out of college?
I don't remember, but I mean, I've seen enough. Like I know.
Yeah, his numbers. I think he played. Was it for San Diego State or some Pacific?
I think it was San Diego State, but they were like. This was like Ricky Williams coming out. Same kind of deal.
Yep. He put up some monster numbers at San Diego State. Monster numbers.
Nelson Alfonso, real quick, just to change the subject, go back to what we were talking about. 92, Steve Edmond intercepted Marino on a game-winning drive. Dolphins were 5-0. They ended our undefeated streak.
Yeah. It makes sense. It's knocking the cobwebs off of my memory banks.
Dolphin Don says, I still have nightmares about Lydell Mitchell and Burt Jones.
See, and that's what I was saying. That's why I remember those names. Lydell Mitchell, Burt Jones,
Lydell Mitchell was
Greg
another one.
Cook on the defensive side for the Colts, for the Baltimore Colts. The Colts were like, for a short period of time in the mid 70s, they were like
They were the best. They were one of the best.
they were like the way Buffalo is right now.
They could never quite get it all together.
Well,
But they were also really good in the 90s. Like, if you think about it, or maybe the early 2000s, if you think about it, of all teams where I can name a whole bunch of players, it's from the Colts. And, we always handled them well, but why can I name so many players from the Colts?
Because
Dwight
remember,
Freeney, Jeff Saturday.
We played against them twice a year for
Yeah.
years.
Yes.
Right.
For years.
But, it's because they had great players.
Well, not only that, if you go back and look, not Bob Urbsay, who was the GM there? Bill Polian, right? Bill Polian, I mean, he doesn't get talked about enough, but he's one of the best GMs in football ever. Like, he put together some amazing teams with those Colts teams. And they got a chance to win one Super Bowl. But, I mean, Bill Polian put together some amazing teams for those Colts teams back in the day. And
oh my goodness.
Crazy.
Roy Smith, you put a name in the chat. Joe Washington had one of the best special team games, combined games in the NFL Monday night history. Did it right there for the whole country to see. Had two.
Who played against? What were the teams?
I can't remember who he played against. But he ran a kick return for a touchdown. I believe a punt return for a touchdown in the game, and I think rushed for like 80 yards and was catching the ball. He was everywhere that game. Roy Smith, you jogged the memory. Thank you.
Was it for the Colts?
It was for the Colts. It wasn't a Dolphin Colts game, but Joe Washington, that was let's put it this way. We all would wish that Jakeem Grant could be that type of special teams player.
Yeah, real quick. You talking about that game?
Yes.
It was against
the Patriots. It was against the Patriots.
I mean, it's crazy looking at some of these old. Oh man, that dude's a monster. That dude's a monster.
And see, now you're going through the list. I see names. Jim Harbaugh. He was a tough quarterback. Maybe not the best arm, but he was tough and he made plays. Reggie Wayne, of course, and Edgerrin James. I'm glad he got to the Super Bowl. To the Hall of Fame. Great running back, underappreciated as well. And see, that's why I was getting ready to get to Edgerrin James, because they basically went from Eric Dickerson, Marshall Faulk, Edgerrin James. They had a litany of running backs. And then just before that, you had Lydell Mitchell. They've had some great running backs at
Dolphin
Baltimore.
Don. Fun fact,
Indianapolis.
AAFL team Miami Seahawks moved to Baltimore and the NFL to become the Baltimore Colts. Who have since moved to Indianapolis. Wow. I don't know if I knew that. Look, that's how crazy the ties are to these two teams. I mean, the two, like the original Indianapolis Colts originally were the
Miami Seahawks.
That's insane. Oh man, that's pretty cool.
You guys remember Earl Morrow?
Morrow.
Yes.
He played for many years for the Baltimore Colts.
Yep.
And he played for Shula.
He played for the Dolphins too.
Yep, in the undefeated season.
That's
and
correct.
he played for a majority of that undefeated season.
He won about 11 games.
He got pulled out of the AFC Championship game at halftime for Greasy, who had broke his leg, I think, or something like that earlier in the season.
Yep.
Yeah. Greasy broke his leg in game 5.
This young guy knows his stuff, Pamela. I know my stuff, all right?
I know you do.
You know.
I wouldn't be on here if you was a flake.
Most
Wait a minute.
days I'm
That
not.
judgment is not out yet.
I want to say the book is still out on that one. Chef Shu says, glad we are learning things about from the Dolphins from OJ. D-Dub, it's official. You have to be on here every Thursday for Throwback Thursday. You got to be on here for every Throwback Thursday now.
I will do my best. I will do my best.
AB says
And-
linebacker Mike Curtis.
And that was the nemesis on defense. The way, let's see, and today I would say he's more like a TJ Watt, but dirty, physical. Mike Curtis was one of the meanest, and I'm gonna say it this way, the way they would say it back then. He was one of the meanest SOBs in NFL history. He cold clocked a fan. That's how bad a guy he was. But nice guy off the field, but on the field, he was a mean SOB. Okay, Mike Curtis. He was the middle linebacker for the Baltimore Colts, and he was a nemesis of the offensive line for the Dolphins back then, and that's what made beating the Colts so much pleasurable, because beating Mike Curtis was a rarity, and to see his face physically look defeated that game was something that most Miami Dolphin fans back then cherished.
I'm hoping I don't get kicked off for any of this, but yeah, man, I'm playing some of that Miami Dolphin Colts game. Jimmy Johnson, head coach. Dan Marino still there.
That's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep.
You guys remember who was the only goes down in record, probably the only quarterback that had the really strongest arm that played for the Colts?
Well,
his initials is JG.
Jeff George.
You got it.
No,
the guy could throw the ball 80 yards.
The best quarterback, okay. But the best quarterback the Colts ever had, other than Peyton Manning, was Johnny Unitas. And people don't even think of
that's going way back. Yep.
Yeah, that's going way back.
Hey guys, check out this play coming up. So that's Randy McMichael there, if I'm correct, right?
Oh yeah.
Or OJ
No, that's OJ McDuffie.
OJ McDuffie.
Oh yes, love
OJ
me some
McDuffie.
OJ.
Watch this play. Wow, that right there is that Gats? Say his name for me, Pamela.
Gadsden. Aronde Gadsden. Say it with a D.
Aronde
Gadsden.
Gadsden. Okay.
What a play.
And
that guy wasn't fast, but he could surely catch the ball.
What a play.
And Sean Tunsil, the only reason why I can't put Burt Jones higher up is because he had a short career. Great arm. Yeah. He's from Louisiana. Very, very good quarterback. There's the bell for the stock market.
Ding, ding, ding. Are you up in that AMC?
I am out of that. I am not. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it.
Wrong platform, people.
Okay, not going to talk about it. But
look at that catch. Unbelievable.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Aronde Gadsden was a very athletic, very flexible
Here we go
wide
again.
receiver.
He was the ballet end of football. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Flip side said it may be that same game, but another Colts game I remember is where OJ McDuffie ran back a touchdown, kickback for a touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah, this is 1998, Nelson.
Yeah, OJ McDuffie. I mean, from Penn State.
Second and goal. We're about to score here. Marino oh my God, this is bringing back so many memories.
I know. I want to see it again.
Wow. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And notice they had a tight end that actually made a block.
Yeah.
That was
You
Drake.
know,
what's
like,
fu- you
what
know
is
what's
that
funny?
even about? Our tight ends can't block. What is that even
You
about?
know what's funny? I think they should bring in Christian Wilkins more on offense. True story.
I do too. He's
I
a
think
wall.
I think he'd be a great blocker.
Bring in the wall.
Let him carry the ball.
I was gonna say I was just gonna say that. Give him the
Modern-day
ball.
refrigerator.
That's
Like,
right.
He's on your roster. Use him. You know.
I'll tell you the one game that I did get upset about as far as us not getting to the Super Bowl, and the one time that we should have got to the Super Bowl was the 85 Super Bowl.
Oh, man. I knew you were going there. I mean, they had beaten the
Because that
Patriots
was the
twice,
game
and
the
they
fans
had the
did
home
not want to
game.
see us play.
You know,
And that would have been the game to see.
yeah. And if, you know, you got to be upset about the Buffalo AFC Championship game. They had them at home.
Well,
And
I don't even go. I have
you know,
such a sore spot for Buffalo. It's not funny.
you know,
And the fact that
you know, real quick. Let me ask you guys a question, right? Because I think that my most hated rival, is the Jets. I hate the Jets. I hate the Patriots because they win. That's it.
No,
that's
they
the only
cheat.
reason I hate them. But they win too, right? Like you can't take away
cheat.
that. That's fine. That's fair. It's a fair statement. But I hate because they win. I hate the Jets because I just hate the Jets. Like, I have no love for them. Can't stand them. But I always had respect for Buffalo because I always felt like Jim Kelly and Dan Marino were friends.
Yeah.
And so I always felt, okay, well, they like each other, so I can at least respect them. So I respected the Bills. I hated the Jets. And who cared about the
cheats
for all those years?
Yes. I feel the same way. It's definitely the biggest rivalry for the longest time of hatred is definitely the Jets. And I always liked Jim Kelly and liked watching him unless he was playing the Dolphins. And the cheats, like you said, back in the day, they didn't even matter. So
D-Dub or Al, what do you guys think about that? And then obviously the Colts being in there too, because I don't think I ever really hated the Colts.
I didn't either.
Well, the biggest one for me was the Buffalo Bills, and I'll tell you why. How many times Marino didn't go to the Super Bowl because they lost to the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game? Many times.
And the playoffs. They lost in the playoffs to the Buffalo Bills as well.
Right. That was the reason why we never got Marino.
But I'm saying it wasn't just the AFC Championship game. They played prior to that in '92 in a divisional round game, and the Dolphins.
We always get to the point where we play Buffalo and then we lose to Buffalo because we couldn't beat Buffalo. No matter what, there would always be that screen pass to Thurman Thomas, and he would take the ball down the freaking field, and we couldn't
that crossing pattern to what's the guy's name? The wide receiver, Andre
Rison.
Rison.
No, not Andre Rison. Andre Reed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Andre Rison.
Steve
was
Tasker.
around the same time,
Steve Tasker.
Yeah, but those crossing patterns and the hurry up offense killed the NFL for about 2-3 years.
They used to
James Lofton. James Lofton.
That's another name. He killed us twice, basically, because he played for San Diego as well. And he went to San Diego and did some damage to the Dolphins as well.
Yeah, but did you hate? Let me go down the list. D-Dub and Al, and I got Innocent Estefan in the back. I'll bring them on in a minute. I'll bring in Estefan in a minute with his voice sounding like this.
He got that strip throat, man. He got that strip throat.
I hope he feels better.
I'm Estefan. All right. My question, D-Dub and Al, did you? Let's go. Yes or no questions. Did you hate the Jets?
Yes. So
I grew up in New York, so of course.
See, that's the thing. I grew up in New York City as well. So of course, you're gonna have a natural disdainment for the Jets as a Dolphin fan. But
Yeah.
I
the
had the
one,
only
the one,
Dolphins helmet as a kid playing football,
Did
street football.
He was. You were bringing the heat, man. That's
did you
awesome.
did you hate the Patriots before Belichick?
yes,
Actually, no, because I used to love playing them because we
There
had
were
a streak
wins.
against them. They
There
would
were
never beat us.
wins.
Yeah.
All wins. That was an easy game.
Did you
Before
hate the Bills?
I hated the Bills,
He did.
even when OJ Simpson played for
O.J.
them.
Simpson was playing. D-Dub, what about you? Did you hate the Bills?
okay. So I'm not gonna use the word hate. I despised, like in the soldier story when you say he despised that. So I despise each and every one of those rivals. Equal opportunity despiser. Okay.
Abhor. The word
And then-
is abhor.
And then did you guys hate the Indianapolis Colts or the Baltimore
No.
Colts?
Don't know why.
You know what? I'm sorry. You a division rival. It's disdainment, abhorrence, whatever negative word you want to put to it. It's a division foe. They may not.
Yeah,
be,
but playing a team, you get different emotions.
Yes.
And
So-
for me,
Yes.
D-Dub, because I'm just a couple of years younger than you, just a couple. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Okay.
For me, it was the Monday Midnight Miracle.
I was at that game.
I will forever hate the Jets because of that game.
See,
And then when Jason Taylor went and played for them a year, I felt like that was the biggest slap in the face to us. Rightfully so, knowing what I know behind the scenes. I know what Jason Taylor was doing.
yeah.
But it was the biggest slap in the face as a fan. I hated it. So I hate the Jets because I felt like they're just disrespectful. Their fans are disrespectful.
Oh Lord, their fans are the worst.
Let's put it this way for me, okay? Growing up in the Bronx, I would say if the Dolphins lost to any division foe, it would be I definitely did not want it to be the Jets because I would have to deal with Jet fans more so than any other fans. That being said, to go out to yes, and I remember Dwight. I remember Mark Gastineau's dirty shot on Dwight Stevenson. Yes, flip side fishing. I remember that. So, and that rivalry even started before then. I remember going out to Shea Stadium where the Jets played the Dolphins. Then the Jets played at Shea Stadium in Queens. And I remember going out to those games every year from the time that I was 11 years old until they moved to the Meadowlands. So I've had my fair share of wins on the opposing team's field and losses. I've endured those, but I've also grown from those wins as well. So to really answer your question, Stephen, if the Dolphins lose to division foes, it hurts, but it hurts most when it's the Jets, just because of where I grew up from.
And even to this day, even after losing to the Patriots for 20 years, I still hate the Jets more.
Baby, let me
That's
call you
just-
right back. I'm on a show. So
D-Dub's on the show. Tell him
Let me call you
to
right
stop
back,
calling,
okay?
D-Dub.
I'll call you right back.
Tell him you over
Yeah.
here busy.
How about that ringtone?
I do like that
Hey,
ringtone.
I love Patrice Russian, man. Patrice
D-Dub,
Russian
you
is.
remember the A.J. Dewey game?
Oh, you know what? I was such a fan of AJ Dewey that I always said if I had a son, I would give him those initials AJ. But then as I grew a little older, I grew out of that. But that Mud Bowl game will forever be remembered for me as one of the great games in Dolphin lore. You know,
Yeah, I was up in New Jersey working for my company with a guy from Buffalo. He's wearing his Buffalo jersey and I'm wearing my Dolphins jersey. And we go into an Irish bar. And there's nothing but Jets fans in the bar. Okay, we're going there to eat dinner. Okay, so the guy who was with me, he's like 4'10", skinny little guy, and I'm like 6'5", 250, 265 easily at that time. So he's scared shitless because he's in this bar
Swear jar.
with all the
Swear jar.
Jets. Sorry about that. And he's screaming, "Oh, I want to go! I want to go!" I said, "I'm eating my dinner. I don't want no nothing." The whole time, nobody bothered us at all. They had nothing to say whatsoever. So we go
I
to
just
leave.
have to say that sounds like the perfect start to a joke, right? A Dolphins fan and a Jets fan go in an Irish bar.
We end up leaving. At four, I said, "Fins up!" on the way out the door. So people got
Awesome.
pissed.
So
I love it. Hey, real quick, hold on. Let me get Ennis in here. He's on break. And then Estefan after that. Ennis, what's up, Ennis?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
I didn't mean to leave you hanging back there. My bad, bro.
That's all good.
What's up, man?
I used to hate the Jets because I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, like the rest of the other two guys. And I remember the battle.
You can say it, the old guys. You can say the old guys. They get it.
Other guys. I'm not going to say the old guys.
say seasoned, not
Yeah,
old.
don't be
seasoned.
calling me old.
Seasoned by life. Seasoned by life.
No, it's nobody has killed me yet.
I remember Ken O'Brien and Dan Marino used to having them
Ken
battles.
O'Brien. Wow.
And they used to throw for 400 to 500 yards each. Al Toon, and I used to hate because my friends in my building used to have an Al Toon jersey. So, I had to go get the Dan Marino, and when we lose, I couldn't wear it outside. I know how it was.
Now, let me ask you, and it's just to stay on the Colts Dolphins topic. Are there any Colts Dolphins games that stick out for you?
Not really, because back then I didn't what's the name would say it. Only ones I cared about is the Bills and Jets and Patriots. And Patriots back then wasn't irrelevant.
Do you think that's why, and this is a question for everybody, do you think that's why the Colts left the AFC East because they weren't as big of a, it wasn't that the rivalry wasn't that hatred? Because I do feel like they actually fit pretty well in the AFC South, with the Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. I think
to be honest, they should have been in the AFC North.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree.
They should have been being where they are currently now, Indianapolis. They should be in the AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
But
AFC North is a tough division.
And
the Baltimore Ravens should be in the AFC East.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But they want to keep that Baltimore-Cleveland battle because Baltimore came from Cleveland. So that's why they keep them in the division.
Do you think there'll ever be realignment? Because I think there should be if they ever get a London team. I think they should scrap everything and do a huge realignment.
Listen.
You'll get so much grief from that. It's not funny because so many people still want to see the traditional
Yeah, well, we give them grief about their crappy refs and nothing's happened.
So unless they start really focusing on developing offensive linemen and quarterbacks, I don't think there should be any type of expansion because you're having hard enough time getting 32 quality quarterbacks and 160 quality offensive linemen. So if you,
I think they should be building up some kind of secondary league to be the farm system.
Yeah, but they've been talking about that for years, Al, and that's never like.
Well, that's what NFL Europe used to be,
and it was good, but it also had its flaws too.
Hey, I want to say this before I go in real quick, if I can, Steven. Not to say something to the members of this channel and that support Steven. I want to apologize for my actions the other day. I didn't mean to bring that to his channel. I apologize to Steven personally on the phone, but I want to apologize to all the members and the guys that support his channel. And I want y'all to have a good day. I'm about to go back to work. I love all of y'all.
Ennis, I love you too, brother. Keep it up, man. You didn't have to apologize again, but I appreciate the words, brother. Be good.
We love you, Ennis.
All right, real quick. Let me bring in Estefan.
Let's hear the crusty, rusty voice. Let's hear the crusty, rusty voice. Come on.
Oh, can I get some background music too?
Oh, you got the background music? Oh, Estefan's trying to set the mood, D-Dub.
Ooh.
He can't play with this fire. He don't want this smoke.
Go ahead, Estefan.
Yeah, man. Man, I feel a whole lot better today.
You do. You
sound
sound
better.
a whole lot
better.
Voice sounds better.
Yeah, I'm playing hooky. Yeah, them Tuneers were trying to take me out, man, and it was getting dark there for a minute. I didn't know if I was gonna make it through, y'all. And then I was like, no. I was like, no, we're about to sign Deshaun Watson and have the opportunity to go to
Oh,
the
we
Super Bowl.
almost got through a whole show without saying his name.
Bro,
We
we're about
almost
to,
got through the whole show.
know what I mean? I can't miss out on the chance to go to the Super Bowl, so you know what I mean? I had to stay alive. And no, when you guys were talking about the Jets, man, everybody talks about the miracle. What was that Monday night game?
The Midnight Miracle for me is like the worst game in Dalton. Like, real quick,
Bro.
hold up, real quick. There's a scene in the movie.
I was at that game.
There was a scene in the movie. What's the one with Jimmy Fallon where he's the Red Sox fan? Damn, I can't think of the name of the movie. But he's the Red Sox fan. Fever Pitch. And there's a scene in the movie where he's sitting in the room in the dark watching the Bill Buckner game. And for those of you who don't know, Bill Buckner is the guy who let the ball go through his legs in 1986. And they ended up losing the series to the Mets. And if he had caught that ball, they probably would have won. They would have won that game, and they would have won the series. And I think of, like, to me, every year right before football season starts, the NFL Network starts playing games. They start playing games from the past. And like clockwork, they play the Midnight Miracle about 2 or 3 weeks before the season starts every year. And every year I turn off the room. I turn out the lights because I'm so excited for football. And I watch that game. And I watch it in the dark. And I just keep thinking, Brock Marion, just like the secondary, come on, Patrick. Like, if they had just made some very small minor changes on 3 or 4 plays, they would have won that game. They would have won that game. And
Bro,
we'll save that.
Do you remember? They had a couple of comebacks around that time. I mean, within, what was that, like 2 or 3 years against us?
Yeah.
And I think 2 of them were on Monday night, bro. Because I remember going to school tired as hell and pissed off, man. You know what I mean? Because I stayed up all night, bro, and I couldn't believe that we lost. But yeah, man. And then when you
That
guys
was
were
revenge
talking,
for the Spike game.
I will save my memories of that when we play the Jets, and I'll come on Throwback Thursday and talk about that game then.
Yeah, I probably should wait till then. But and when you guys were talking about Colts quarterbacks, I have a Jim Harbaugh jersey from the Colts when he played with the Colts.
What was it, number 11?
Shit, I can't remember, man. I don't
even
even
number
wear it.
11.
X said moved to the AFC South by the NFL because they moved to Indy without getting approval from the league. Not wrong. I don't think you're wrong about that.
It may have played a part, but they wanted to balance it out.
Remember the Mayflower trucks? Mayflower trucks.
Yeah.
From Baltimore to, let me tell you. So living in Baltimore here, to this day, people still hate Mayflower trucks. Like, they don't like. There's no Mayflower trucks here.
It was a classless move for organization that really tried to hold the people of Baltimore hostage with a gun to their head, and when that failed, they decided to just pull stakes.
And what I always find interesting is Cleveland left for the same reasons that Baltimore left. The Colts left Baltimore.
Yeah.
But Cleveland got a team back 3 years later from the league as a gift. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I remember them crying about it, man. I'm not gonna lie, that would suck. Like, to lose.
People in St. Louis still don't have a team.
And they deserve. So there's two teams that I think deserve a team. Two cities, St. Louis and San Diego. They both still deserve a team.
I was about to say that, man.
Yeah.
My buddy lives in San Diego. There's actually a lot of Dolphin fans out there. I don't know if people knew that, but yeah, dude.
Shout out to Bolt Pride because they're real big out there and they
Yeah.
support.
And the Chargers and the Dolphins have had some big games over the years as well. So, but we'll talk about that next year. We'll talk about that next year when they play
have
AFC West.
They have such a good team right now that it's kind of
Another call.
tell them I call him back later.
Your 1980s ringback tones.
Tell him I call him back later, bro.
Oh wait, was that Will Smith?
The Men in Black. Men in Black. Yeah, dude. No, I was gonna say, man, it's weird, bro, that the Chargers are in LA now. Like, it doesn't make no sense. You know what I mean? They deserve more of a fan base than what they're getting out of LA, bro, because they're basically just like renting out like space. I don't know. Hopefully they get something done and go back to San Diego, man. But LA Chargers still doesn't sound right. It just I don't know, man.
It doesn't roll off the tongue at all. And to this day, for the Rams, I still say St. Louis and I still say San Diego for the Chargers. It gets me every time.
Yeah, the St. Louis one, I think that one was a bad move because, I mean, damn, dude, you had some good years with that Greatest Show on Turf, and they brought you a championship, man.
Yeah,
that's it's not like
here's
the Browns.
a reality. Here's a reality. The Raiders should have stayed in L.A. or Oakland, right? They should have went back to L.A. or stayed in Oakland. I wouldn't have had a problem with them going back to L.A. Let's get that straight.
I don't have a problem with the Raiders.
But I don't think they should be in Vegas. But if you wanted to move a team to Vegas, if you were going to move the Chargers should have went to Vegas.
Actually, no. Raiders are more famous. Fitting for being in
Sin City. Sin City. I mean, I get it, but from a history standpoint, I feel like, it feels like, look, let's get something straight. All those cities got robbed. Oakland got robbed. San Diego got robbed. St. Louis got robbed. All those three cities got robbed. Meanwhile, Jacksonville has a team, which they shouldn't. Jacksonville should not have a team, right? And I'll be perfectly honest and say that I really don't think Carolina should have a team. I don't think Carolina should have a team. So you take.
Why do you don't think Carolina should have a team?
Because the only reason Carolina got a team is because Paul Tagliabue did not want the Ravens to go, did not want Baltimore to happen. So he did everything in his power to do it. And Charlotte just paid enough, like they had enough money to pay the entry fee into the league, and that's how they got into the league.
Yeah, but I think
it should have been if they were going to have Jacksonville, should have been. Or Jacksonville either. Jacksonville, Carolina, when those expansions happened, they should have went to either LA and Baltimore, and they didn't.
I agree with you about the Chargers in Vegas. I think that makes sense. That made more sense, man. You know what I mean?
About San Antonio.
The problem with having a team in San Antonio,
there is no problem.
Look, and I get that,
Too close
like
to
you're
Houston.
there.
That's one of the problems.
But and not only that, like let's talk about that for a second. Like, I don't think any state should have, with the exception of California, because of how big they are, like size wise. I don't think any team should have more than 3 teams.
I mean, any state that has more
or
than
any
3
state,
teams?
yeah, any state should have no more than 3 teams.
There's one state that has had 3 teams for many years.
Yeah, the Florida.
No,
I
New York.
I don't think
New York as well.
But the Jets and Giants don't even play in New York. They play in Jersey.
Yeah, that's a technicality. That's
a
because
technicality.
That's the property value. You ain't putting a stadium up so easy. Look at what they did with Shea Stadium.
I'm telling you,
but it looks like Buffalo. Looks like Buffalo's about to leave. I haven't seen them break ground on a new stadium yet.
We're not that close to Houston, y'all. In any other state, a 2.5-hour drive is not right around the corner, bro. And when you look at the South Texas like area from Austin to San Antonio, it's like I don't know, 2 hours. And bro, I mean, no, maybe an hour and a half, maybe an hour and a half.
That I like
But
what
bro,
Carlos
like
just said.
there's nothing in between, bro. Everything has there's not a there are areas to build stadiums, but everything's filled in. You can't tell when you leave one place, city, and you're in the next. So when they were surveying out here, they were doing it for a reason because it's actually a growing population, man. I'm telling you, like how you were talking, Cali's big. Well, Texas is just as big, if not bigger. And the population in South Texas is very big, man. There are plenty of people here.
Yeah,
This was
but I feel like, in my opinion, let's defend it, and I respect yours. I'm not saying that it's not right
no,
or
no,
wrong. I'm just
yeah,
saying you have, check it out. You have Arizona on one side. You have Dallas and Houston. You have New Orleans on the other side. So there's a lot of teams right there in that little strip, and not that little strip. It's a big strip. Don't get me wrong.
How about El
But-
Paso, Texas?
No, El Paso. Look, here's top 5 cities. Top 5 cities that deserve an opportunity to have an NFL team. And this is not in any particular order: St. Louis, San Diego, San Antonio, and this is strictly U.S. St. Louis, San Diego, San Antonio, Norfolk, Virginia. I think the Hampton
Nah,
Roads area.
you got the Ravens and Washington right there. So,
But Virginia, I want you to think about something. Virginia
How
has
about
no
Richmond,
professional
Virginia?
sports team. No, Richmond's too close.
Virginia.
Richmond's too close.
Hey, what
But
about this one?
But Norfolk should have one. And then the fifth city that possibly could have one. I think you'd have to figure out some team in the Midwest. I think a team in the Midwest would do good.
Check this one out. I don't know if the finances add up, but they are a great basketball city. Salt Lake City, bro. Utah.
So
You know what I mean?
That would be a good one.
the only thing is first in defining who's gonna get a team. First two things that NFL looks at: real estate value and media ratings. So are any of those cities in the top 10 media rating wise?
Media ratings, NFL. I'm going. Keep on talking. I'm looking it up.
So, and then does the population, are they in the top 15 in population? And do they have a public transportation system that can get people to the games? So those four things will determine whether or not you can get a franchise right off the bat. Besides the financing, those things help make decisions with respect to where you're going to set up a franchise.
I'm trying to find it. I can't find anything. Hold on, I'm looking.
So if you just go
Salt
to
Lake City has the land available. They have the Metropolitan Rail or the rail system that they just put in.
But are they in the top 20 in the media?
That's the problem.
Okay,
too.
because you're not going to put a team somewhere where you don't get. See,
you have to be able to fill the seats.
That's true as well. Does Salt Lake City have the population in the surrounding 100 miles? Okay, you have. Let's see. I know you.
The problem with Salt Lake City is there's no real major cities near it. It's far away.
I know because Salt Lake City, and then you got Reno. Not too
Reno's
far.
a haul.
Yeah, it's a haul though, and Vegas is a definite haul.
Yeah.
So You don't have. I mean, I don't know about Salt Lake City getting an NFL team just because they got an NBA team doesn't mean that you're going to support.
If anybody in the chat knows a good website to look this up, let me know because I'm struggling to find it.
You need
Now,
a census,
St. Louis, I could see,
St. Louis,
you
you have a
know,
problem unless you use the existing stadium.
yeah, San Antonio. The reason why, and this is my opinion, Estefan, the reason why they're not going to go that route is because you've already had expansion with Houston there, and is Jerry and who's Bob McNair or not Bob McNair? What's this son's name now? Are they going to be willing to split the TV ratings a third way in Texas?
They're too close to Houston.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, it's like you
Houston
got
can't
to
fill
pay those
this
rights.
now
You got to
as
pay
is.
those rights. So that's why San Antonio may not get a football team there because Jerry don't want to share any money with anybody.
No, that's for sure.
Well, he's about to die, so
Wow! Don't be so cold about it, Estefan.
no, he'll die pretty soon. So
wow, you don't know that. You don't know that.
Yo, it's funny because people from Texas are so they're so adamant about that. Estefan's not the only Texas person to say that.
I mean, perfect situation, yeah, but
the dude looks like a damn skeleton, bro. You can't tell me that he's not about to die.
Guys, is there anybody in the chat that has a good website for NFL game viewership by city and who are like the top 25?
No, you don't want that. You want TV ratings. TV ratings.
NFL TV ratings.
Not even NFL. Not even NFL. Just TV ratings, and then cross check that by population.
Bro, I think they're missing out on cash cows. If you really want to talk about like ratings and money, Toronto and Mexico City.
Well,
you
Buffalo
get a lot
might end up going to Toronto.
The only thing is Mexico City has earthquakes, so I don't know if you want to invest in a
stadium. They have earthquakes in California. They have earthquakes in all over the country. You just don't hear about it because they're small, but they're earthquakes
New York
everywhere.
Actually had an earthquake, and I slept through it.
Yeah.
I don't know, Steven, you need to ask Chochos and them how bad that earthquake was, man. Yeah, you're right about that.
So if you look at those two things, the ratings and the populations, are those cities that you mentioned anywhere in the top 20, top 15, top 20?
I don't know. I can't find nothing, man. You're gonna have to look that up because I can't find it. I'm looking. I'm searching. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
Bro, I got to tell you something, Steven. That day they had that earthquake on Helfins. Bro,
yeah, that's crazy, right? So Helfins, the Spanish-speaking podcast that we have on NFL Network every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Make sure you check it out.
It's cool because it's Spanish, but like if you were able to understand what they're talking about, like
you still watch it. It's still cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy because they're real Dolphin fans, dude, because they go back into the history of the Dolphin, players and whatnot. And then they had that girl on that day, that special guest. What was her name? Elisa or whatever.
Yep. She's big. Bro, she's big in Mexico for covering sports.
Dog, she's talking about the roster, and a casual approach would be to talk about Tua and everybody, and the well-known players. You know what I mean? Jerome Baker, whatnot. I don't know why people like him, but whatever. Anyways, this girl's talking about Nick Needham, bro. You know what I mean? Like players on the roster that were on the rise. That she was talking about Nick Needham. What was Matt Collins. I was just surprised, man. You know what I mean? It sounded like what we talked about, but it was in Spanish.
let me interrupt. All right, you guys ready? So this is just top 20, top 50, top, I guess, 100 markets. All right. And I'll just go through like the top 20 here. New York. And this is in order from one going down. New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, Dallas, Fort Worth, Washington, D.C., Houston, San Francisco, Boston, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Phoenix, Seattle, Detroit, Minneapolis, Miami, Denver, Orlando, interesting, Cleveland, Sacramento, St. Louis, Portland, Charlotte, Pittsburgh, Raleigh, Durham, Baltimore, Nashville, Indianapolis, San Diego, Salt Lake City round out the top 30. So Salt Lake City, and by the way, San Antonio's 31, Kansas City's 32. And
By
Las
the way, the
Vegas is
Jags could end up
39.
moving to Orlando.
That would be definitely crazy. All right, let's bring on Big John. What's up, Big John? We miss you over here, big homie.
What's going on, man? How you doing, man?
How are you?
Oh, he's very white today.
Feeling a little better, man.
You're feeling better? Guys,
Yeah,
Big John's been under the weather, but he is back. And you look very handsome today, I might add.
Hey, before y'all get into that, I'm getting ready to bounce off, but I also dropped the link for the top 50 cities by population as well in the chat. So you can always cross-reference that and see where those 5 cities fall on that as well.
Well, hey, final thoughts, because I'm about to wrap up, and I'm going to let Big John have the final say for the day. So I'm about to wrap up. What's your final thoughts of the day, D-Dub?
My final thoughts on the day is that if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat history. So you definitely need to recognize that there is a deep rivalry between the Dolphins and the Colts. It is full of folklore. It is full of interaction and full of nuggets that people don't realize that have an impact on how things are looked upon today. So don't sleep on that rivalry. We'll give the predictions tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to this game.
No
Everybody fins up. And
see you, D-Dub. We'll see you, brother. Be good.
The Sean Watson train is running.
I love it, D-Dub. Be good,
I love
brother.
it.
All right, Big John, I want to let you talk with other people up here. I don't want to do you like that. So the floor is yours, Big John.
Well, my favorite game for the Dolphins Colts rivalry was when Marino. I think it was his last game against the Colts, wasn't it? Wasn't that Marino's last game when Rondé Gadsden caught the touchdown pass?
We were just watching it. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if it was his last.
I think it was Marino's. I think it was Marino's last game. I think that's when.
No, Marino's last game was 62-7.
No, I'm saying against the Colts. That's
Colts.
when.
Yeah. I think
That
it was
it. That was when Jimmy called one play. Marino looked at Gaskin and said, "We're not running that shit," and he threw the ball. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. 100%. We were just watching it a little bit ago.
Yeah, that was my favorite Dolphin Colt moment. I mean, that was a long time ago, dude. I'd have to go back to when I was 10 to think about that, man, for real. Like, wow. They haven't been in the AFC East for how long? What, 20 years?
20 years, 20 plus years.
Yeah. I mean, I see everybody here wanting the Deshaun Watson train, and I'm sorry to tell y'all he ain't coming, but I'm just going to keep it at that. I told you that last week. So
Big John, we like as Finn said it one time, we almost got through a whole show without really talking about it.
You guys just talked about it right now before I came on. D-Dub just said it.
He just said a statement. That's all he did.
He opened up the can of worms.
He opened up
I'm
the
just
can
telling
of worms.
you.
We'll blame this on him. We'll blame it on him.
He did.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, John, but I'm sorry to break your heart, but it's going to happen very soon.
I'm not gonna.
I'm losing viewers by the second with that.
They can put on Pro Football Focus that they soften their stance and all that good stuff because I'm paying attention. I'm telling you, I'm gonna feel bad for everybody. Cap was laughing yesterday when I told Cap. Cap was cracking up. So y'all keep putting up little icons and emojis and all that stuff. That's cool. either way. But yeah, apart from that, no, man, I'm feeling better. You know,
Feel good, brother.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Dizziness and shortness of breath, it sucks, dude. So I mean, it's not something I can control. It is what it is till my body gets accustomed to that. But you know, I didn't even know you were alive, dude. I
I'm
just hit
live
you up.
every morning.
No, I'm talking about Sunday. When
Oh,
I
yeah,
hit you up
Sunday.
Sunday, I didn't know
Yeah, I
you were
did a
live. I
pregame
just,
show.
I thought he
oh
said
yeah,
alive.
Yep.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no, 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 no.
All right,
yeah,
bro.
Big John,
So,
Big John.
yo,
You,
what's up, man?
yeah, man, just a lot of rest and plenty of water, and just look at this pretty face right here, looking right at you. You see,
Yeah, I know
you see the
he's
thumbnail?
beautiful. And
He's
I
coming,
have one.
baby. He's
I
coming.
have one question. I have one question for Estefan. Estefan, what are you gonna do when the Heat play San Antonio this year and you can't score 80 points?
Wow, he went there, bro.
Did you look at the defensive squad we got? Because I want to see how you guys are gonna score.
Bro, Miami Heat do look
Man,
good. They look good.
Oh, by the way, Victor
hey,
Oladipo is
bro.
coming off the bench. I don't want to hear a word. Just think about it, bro. Let
Hey,
me know what you're
all I
gonna
gotta
tell me
say
next
is,
week. Yeah.
Yeah,
championship,
guys, we got to go. We don't have time for
cha-
Estefan to talk about the Spurs. It's time to go.
championships are won in
I'm gonna let you
the
guys.
playoffs, bro. In the
I'm gonna let
postseason,
you
not
guys.
in the regular season. It don't even matter.
Big John over here coming up, starting stuff, talking
Hey
about
man,
Watson,
if,
talking about the Spurs.
I'm gonna be up here 5 minutes, I gotta get my money's worth. No. All right, guys. I love you
He
guys,
doesn't
man.
know
Y'all,
I love
enough
you.
yo.
about me to throw trash to
With the
my
Kings, Mufasal. With the Kings.
All right,
I,
bro.
lo- I
Whatever.
love
You
you, brother.
you
Be
keep
good, man.
you keep being the
Love
king in
y'all.
your own head.
Have a good one.
You keep
Deshaun
being the
Watson,
king.
baby. He's on his way.
All right, let's go to Estefan and then Al.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I get privileged to be last.
I know. I
Yeah.
wanted you to be last today, Al. You contributed so much to the show, and you're so much cooler than Estefan. So,
Yeah, right. Hey, but on a serious note, when it comes to our team, like, I care, but like 50% of me is all about like putting energy into Deshaun Watson right now. So I can't even lie, bro. We got to get it done, dude.
bro, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that too. I know people don't want, and I'm not. We're not going to get into it, but I just want to say, just because somebody supports somebody else doesn't mean that they don't support the logo or support the team.
Not at
And
all.
and
And we just
and and,
want
and
to
that's
win.
and that's what I'm gonna. We're gonna have a State of Dolphin Nation roundtable show.
Yeah.
Here in the
Last,
next
I
week or
want to
two.
say one more thing. You have a lot of people saying, "Oh, we can just wait. We can just wait." No, no, no. The longer you wait, you're gambling on another team stepping in. You're also gambling on Deshaun getting impatient and just saying, "I want to play football and going to another team." You can't wait. There's teams that also have more capital than us. So if he gets to the point where he just wants to play, he can go somewhere else. You know what I mean? So and it's cheaper. And you're probably gonna get it at its cheapest now because once you have more suitors come in, then you're gonna be screwed, bro, because the price is gonna go up. So they need to get it done before people don't understand how critical it is. They need to get it done before the trade deadline. Now, like within the next, few days would be ideal. So that's where I'm at.
All right, Estefan, love you, brother. Be good.
All right, you too, man.
And
So
then
they
there
should
were
get it
two,
done.
and then there was Al. Al, you have
Yeah.
the final word of the day, brother.
Wow. Final word of the day. And I don't know what to say to that at that point. I've got such a privilege and such knowledge to share. All I could say is it's been one of the best rivalries that we've had.
Yep.
But we just passed one of the better ones, to be honest with you, which was the Raiders one.
Hey, man. But we're here now. It's Colts week.
I know. It's Colts weekend. All I got to say is the Dolphins better pull up a win this weekend. Otherwise, they'll be held to pay.
There will definitely be hell to pay.
And
But we're going to pull out this
see
W.
I don't want to see a 3-point difference game. I want to see a blowout.
Me too. I want to see a blowout too. 100% agree with that. So, all right, Al, it's good. Thank you for coming on and dropping knowledge with us today, brother.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
All right, man. Be good, Al.
Have a good day.
All right, guys. This has been a fun show. I hope you liked it. I enjoyed it. I know you all enjoyed it. This is Miami Sports Music Podcast Network, #1 morning show. I'm talking about the #1 morning show for Miami fans, too. I'm talking about Clock Blockers. Hope you all really enjoyed hanging out with me today. I had a good time hanging out with you. You guys can follow me on social media at Stephen D. SKPL. As a matter of fact, right now I want everybody to stop what they're doing. And I want 15 of you all. I just want 15 of you all. If there's more, great. But I want to get 15 follows on Twitter right now. I need 15 follows on Twitter right now. So go to Twitter, follow me at Stephen D. SKPL, and then tweet at me, hey, Stephen D., I watched your morning show, and you told me to go follow you on Twitter. So that's what I'm doing. So follow me and then tweet me saying, hey, I just listened to your show, and you told me to go follow me on Twitter. So that's what I did. I want to see 15 of y'all do that right now on Twitter. People that are not following me, let's go. I want to see it at SKPL. Also, Miami Sports Music on Instagram and Facebook at Miami Sports Music, or you can also go to Twitter at MIA Sports Music on Twitter. So make sure you follow them too. This has been absolutely amazing. I love you guys. I would, but I don't do Twitter. Good day. I'll stay in the box. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's you guys are great. AB. I love you, brother. You keep it up. But I love you, my guy. All right. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a great show. You want to know why? Tomorrow's show is going to be Spread Kindness Friday, episode 104 on Clock Blockers. Just so you know, I'm in this photo here. You see the guy holding up the DWA sign on the left? That's me. And my wife is to the left of me holding up a DWA towel. And then there's Chucky. And the Eric Carrier's ugly mug is down there on the right. This was a good day. This was a good day. We will definitely, this is the deep end. Love the deep end. All right, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Be good. Peace.